You talked about guys requesting you to be in their matches. Brian, I've heard you say that during your time in WWE, among other greats, Brock Lesnar and Undertaker were some that requested you personally for the matches. You just also said Kurt Angle. What was your favorite match, let's say in WWE, that you were requested for?
So this has been the same answer I've had my entire life. This is not the best match I've had, but it's the biggest match I've ever had. I was requested to do the Vince McMahon versus Hulk Hogan,
Oh,
and that was pretty big. And that's something I could say no one's ever done, and it never will be done at this point. um, but but it was the biggest match, the biggest. I mean, it was the main event of SmackDown on WrestleMania stage. I mean,
yeah.
it was huge. And if you're talking about nerves and nervous, you've got Shane McMahon down your back all day long. I've got blades coming out of my mouth, out of my hands, out of my pockets, and it was just very intimidating. But the coolest thing ever when it was all done, and I did a good job. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
you had Roddy Piper involved. You know, it was just a big deal, and I was blessed to be asked to do it. I was down at Seattle a little earlier than most people because of what kind of match it was in the green room quite a bit, and had a packet about this thick. And I know people that are not listening. It was about an inch
Okay.
of shit to go through and study. So it was tough, but I'm not saying it's the greatest match. It's the biggest match I've ever done.
Wow, that's huge. How early on in your career was that in WWE?
Wow, I don't know. It was probably a few years after I finally made TV, because
Okay.
people don't understand. I didn't come in and just was on SmackDown or Raw or whatever. I came in and I was doing all the stuff no one wanted to do, all the dark matches, all Sunday Night Heat, all the other show they had. I was doing all that stuff and couldn't understand why I couldn't get on. And my dad just kept saying, "You're not good enough, kid. You're not good enough." And I'm like, "Well, you're the one with the pencil. Fucking put me in a show." But he did it right though. You know, when I go back and look, he did it right. He made me learn, you know, and that's why I said I watched Mike Chioda, I watched him to try to get better than the guys that were there in front of me. And you know what? I was confident in my abilities and wanted one thing, and I've never done anything in my life where I didn't want to be number one. And refereeing was certainly not one of them. So my dad did it right. He did. Now that I look back, but it sucked. It sucked.
Rewind, recap, relive. For over 50 episodes, the revolutionary force in wrestling interview.